stock financial institutions that have been urged to offer financial services to refugees to boost their financial livelihoods. In a report that rebuilding livelihoods in displacements, while refugees have a wide range of income sources, self-employment remains one of their main source of income. During the launching of the Endline report, March 2022, experts noted the reduction in offering financial hand to refugees. A look at the details.
Little has been known about the financial strategies employed by refugees over the time to build their livelihoods and manage their finances. Financial institutions have therefore been called upon to offer financial services to refugees to boost their financial livelihoods. During the launching of the Endline report March 2022 by BFA Global, a consulting firm that applies financial and digital innovations, experts noted a reduction of offering financial hand to refugees.
Can be a profitable market segment, but it also proves that there's still a lot that can be done, and I don't want to preempt the study findings. I'll leave Michelle to come and do that very well. But it's just to invite the people around the room to think a little bit harder, and for example, especially for the financial service providers, to think of what more can they do, and especially in this digital era.
Even the money that they received last month has decreased even further. So we are kind of seeing a reduction in the amount of money that is being disbursed to refugees over time. We've certainly seen it in the last 2 years, despite the needs kind of continuing to either remain the same or increase.
According to the report, there has been an increase in the number of refugees owning or having access to mobile phones compared to the baseline by 7%. Uniquely, the research was conducted directly before and after legislative changes in Uganda allowed them to own SIM cards registered in their own names for the first time. As a result, mobile money usage had a tremendous increase from 29% to 61% between the baseline and the endline period.
The policy regime has really helped because the refugees now are owning the SIM cards in their own name, which has really helped. But I think the drawback, one of the biggest drawback that we saw is the cost of transacting, especially using mobile money. So if that was addressed, I'm sure they could there could be actually a better uptake of digital financial services, but also to add that thinking about this ecosystem so that people don't necessarily have to cash out the money, they can actually use the digital money digitally even when they go to merchants or to shops. I think that would really help a lot. But again, that is very much pegged on the cost of doing that. To the question, I really like that question about, we have highlighted a lot about the refugee, and the silent people here are actually the host communities. And like Michelle said, the focus of this project was not just to the refugees. It's only that we are reporting a lot on the refugee, but also the host communities, because they face almost the same challenges as the...
Definitely we've seen increment of mobile money, but also there comes in a challenge of digital literacy. And I think this is where we are talking a lot about, and you can see from the companies that are talking, the implementing partners saying we have to do sensitization, we have to do training, and that will help. So hopefully as access to smartphones and access to phones increases, more and more people and opportunities come up so that they're able to actually use digital products. So one day, we are hoping that they're able to say, like, I can either touch my button, I can be able to do this. From the research itself, when we asked them what they've done with mobile money or their phone, a lot of it was just communications as of now and just sending money back home, not so much on the digital products. So I still think like that's a great opportunity for having other new institutions coming in and using it. And especially like financial institutions starting to tell.
The report further indicates that there has been a significant change in cash at home from 29% at the baseline to 59% during the endline. Refugees said that they keep money for emergencies, particularly for health emergencies. In terms of savings instruments, there was a significant increase. in the Kampala refugees from 6% in the baseline to 38% during the end line. There was also an increase of about 20% in the Bidibidi settlement and 20% in Inaki Valley.
Refugees also live. We have some coverage of urban refugees, specifically those in Kampala. Some of their needs, their typical risk management, coping mechanisms, and the financial instruments that they use. Obviously, they have their palette of financial instruments is richer because they are in the cities. They are a bit more accessible by the financial institutions. So accessibility, like Michelle mentioned, in terms of branchless banking, may not be so big an issue. But then there are still other issues that apply, like policy, in terms of identification. Some of those barriers that existed for refugees in West Nile also applied to those in Kampala as well, simply because there wasn't.
In terms of lending or credit, the most commonly known used loan facility is a loan from informal group. According to the report, this is prevalent in the West Nile, Palarinya and Bidibidi, with an increase of about 17% in both settlements, and this was attributed to the program implementing partners.
So each of these members went through a rigorous program before loans were advanced, right? Similarly, Rufi also offered a digital lending product, right? They ensured that the members went through a digital literacy program. The ledger links that they used, they had to let their partner Grameen Foundation train all the saving group members on how to use a smartphone, how to use the technology, how to access information in offline mode, and how to sync in.
In a report, high cost of transaction has hindered use of mobile banking, sometimes costing a user up to 15,000 to access their money. There is limited comprehension by respondents in understanding the terms and conditions offered by formal financial service provider for financial products. Account opening fees and maintenance fees were also highlighted as a huge concern. Pedson Mumbere, Smart 24 TV.
Thank you very much, Pedson Mumbere.